While you're watching your grocery bill climb and your paycheck buys less every month, there's a group of people who are getting richer from the same inflation that's crushing you. I'm not talking about conspiracy theories. I'm talking about a documented economic principle from the 18th century that explains why your savings account loses value while someone else's real estate portfolio grows. Here's what blows my mind. The average person sees inflation as the enemy. But if you understand how money actually moves through the economy, you can flip that around. You can use the same forces that drain your bank account to build real wealth instead. I've spent years studying this, and today I'm breaking down exactly how the wealthy use inflation to get ahead, and more importantly, how you can do the same thing. Let's dive in. Most people think inflation is just prices going up, but that's only half the story. Here's what actually happens. When the government creates new money, it doesn't magically appear in everyone's bank account at the same time. It flows through the economy in a specific order, first to banks, then to Wall Street, then to asset owners, and finally to regular workers like you. There's a name for this. It's called the Cantillon effect, after the economist Richard Cantillon, who wrote about it in the 1730s. Let me explain. Imagine the Federal Reserve creates $1 trillion new dollars. Who gets it first? Banks and financial institutions. They can buy stocks and real estate before prices jump. They're spending money at yesterday's prices. By the time that money reaches your paycheck, everything already costs more. You're earning more dollars, sure, but you're buying with inflated currency. Your purchasing power went down. This is why inflation hits different people differently. The people closest to the money printer benefit first and most. The people furthest away, wage earners, pay the price. Here's the bottom line. If all you have is a paycheck and a savings account, inflation is eating your wealth every single day. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Person A has $50,000 in a savings account. They're earning maybe 0.5% interest. Meanwhile, inflation runs at 7%. Every year, they're losing over $3,000 in purchasing power. Their grocery bill jumps from $150 to $200. Gas costs more. Rent goes up. They're working harder just to stay in place. Meanwhile, Person B has that same $50,000, but they put it into rental real estate with a fixed-rate mortgage. As inflation climbs, two things happen. The property value goes up, and the rent they charge also goes up. But their mortgage payment? It stays exactly the same. They're paying back their loan with cheaper dollars, while their income and asset value rise. Inflation just made them wealthier. Same inflation rate, completely different outcomes. The difference isn't luck, it's a strategy. Person A is holding cash. Person B owns assets that move with inflation. That's the game. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Quick pause. If this is clicking for you and you want more content like this, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps the algorithm show this to more people who need to hear it. Takes 2 seconds, makes a huge difference. Alright, let's get tactical. Here are 4 strategies wealthy investors use to turn inflation from a threat into an opportunity. Strategy 1. Use debt as a weapon. Most people think all debt is bad, but there's a massive difference between consumer debt and investment debt. Consumer debt, credit cards, car loans, that's bad debt. It costs you money, but investment debt, that's an entirely different story. You borrow money at a fixed rate to buy something that produces income or goes up in value. Here's a real example. You take out a mortgage at 5% to buy a rental property. Inflation hits 7% per year. Your rent goes up with inflation. Your property value goes up with inflation. But your mortgage payment? Locked in forever. You're effectively paying back your loan with dollars that are worth less each year. The real cost of your debt is shrinking while your asset appreciates. According to multiple real estate studies, property values have tracked closely with inflation over the past 40+ years, with a correlation of 0.94. That's almost perfect. This is why real estate investors love inflation. Their debt gets cheaper and their assets get more valuable at the same time. Strategy 2. Own real assets. Trade paper money for real things. Real estate is the classic example. People always need somewhere to live. When inflation drives up construction costs, existing properties become more valuable. When living costs rise, landlords can increase rent. Data from the National Council of Real Estate Investment Fiduciaries shows real estate values have closely followed inflation since 1977. When inflation goes up 10%, real estate typically follows. But it's not just real estate. It's also commodities, oil, copper, and agricultural products. These are the raw materials that drive inflation in the first place. And then there's gold. For thousands of years, people have used gold as a store of value when currencies get debased. Does it always work perfectly? No, but it's proven more reliable than holding cash over the long term. Strategy 3. Invest in companies with pricing power. Own businesses that can raise their prices without losing customers. This is huge. Not every company can do this, but the ones that can have a massive advantage. Think about it. Company A sells generic products with tons of competition. When their costs go up 10%, they can't raise prices without customers leaving. Their margins get crushed. Company B sells essential products with strong brand loyalty. When their costs rise by 10%, they raise prices by 12%. Their margins actually expand. Recent analysis shows companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Procter & Gamble maintained or grew profit margins during the 2021-2022 inflation surge by successfully raising prices. This is pricing power, and during inflation, it's one of the most valuable things a company can have. Look for businesses selling things people can't easily go without. Software that companies depend on. Essential household products. Services with high switching costs. These companies act as inflation hedges built into your stock portfolio. Strategy 4. Use inflation-protected securities. For a more direct approach, there are government bonds specifically designed to fight inflation. They're called Treasury inflation-protected securities. Here's how they work. The principal value of the bond adjusts up with the Consumer Price Index. When inflation goes up 3%, your bond's value goes up 3%. The interest you earn is calculated on that adjusted principal. When the bond matures, you get back either the adjusted principal or your original investment, whichever is higher. You literally cannot lose to inflation with these, assuming you hold them to maturity. Now, tips won't make you rich. The yields are modest, but they offer direct, government-backed protection against inflation. That's valuable in a diversified portfolio. So here's the bottom line. Inflation isn't some mysterious force you can't control. It's a feature of how our monetary system works, and the wealthy understand this better than anyone. It's about moving from being a passive saver to an active owner. It's about understanding that fixed-rate debt combined with appreciating assets creates real wealth. It's about owning things that can't be printed: real estate, commodities, businesses with pricing power. These aren't secrets, they're just strategies most people never learn. You don't have to accept inflation eating your purchasing power. You can adopt the same playbook and use those same forces to build wealth over the long haul. Look, this isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about making smart decisions today that compound over decades. It's about understanding the game and playing it better. The choice is yours. You can keep watching inflation drain your savings, or you can learn to ride the wave. What strategy from this video made the most sense to you? Please drop a comment and let me know. I read every single one. And if you're serious about building wealth, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I put out videos like this every week to help you understand money the way wealthy people do. Thanks for watching. Now go put this knowledge to work.